Cyber Uncut. Discover the changing face of business, government and national security as Australia navigates the cyber revolution.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, no matter what time of the day it is, you are listening to the Cyber Uncut podcast. My name is David Hollingworth. I'm the Deputy Editor of Cyber Daily, and I'm joined by my work bestie, Daniel Croft.
Hello.
You are definitely my work bestie.
Oh, likewise.
Screw those other guys.
Yeah. How are you?
I'm good. We're recording on a Wednesday because it's been that kind of week.
Yeah.
But unsurprisingly, my lord, has there been more than enough news to fit in the few days we've had since the last time we sat down to record a pod?
Yeah, this has really not been a problem. There's plenty to cover.
Plenty. All right, so you're well?
I am well.
In 5 words or less, are you well?
I am well. That's 3.
Bingo.
You've got
Yes,
2
okay.
to take to the bank.
I've got 5 words or less. I also am well.
Lovely.
Thank you. Okay, before we, let's just get straight into it.
Yeah.
There's a lot to cover.
Yes, there is.
We're going to kick off with AI, as we always do. And here's some local news. Actually, I think both our stories are local, aren't they?
No, the second one is not.
It's not. I didn't think
No.
so. Cool. All right, so let's start locally. And it's e-safety again.
Yep.
It's going after AI giants this time.
Yep.
And this time it's doing it because of possible inappropriate.
Technology that's inappropriate to children. Yeah.
Bingo, that's the
Yeah.
one. Yes, thank you. And they could be facing massive fines if they don't toe the line.
Yeah, so e-safety actually, I think it was, Julian McGrant was speaking with ABC Radio yesterday and just talking about the kind of emotional dependencies and dangers that come with AI chatbots. Now, we've seen this already happen a number of times. In the US, a 16-year-old boy tragically took his own life after
Which we've spoken about in the past.
Yes, a long period speaking with ChatGPT, GPT-4o, I believe.
Yeah.
Now, since March 1st, actually, AI giants actually face fines of 49.5 million. I believe it's 49.5 million. I really hope it wasn't billion and I've read that wrong.
It's not billion. I wish it were.
Yeah.
I wish it were.
It is 49.5 million.
Yep.
If their AI bots are not deemed appropriate for children, child safe. So, as I said, eSafety Commissioner Julian McGrant expressed concern about the increase in emotional dependency. She said, they can be your romantic partner, your therapist, and your friend all at once, and they're developed with emotional manipulation in mind. So they exploit developmental vulnerability. They're what we call sycophantic.
Sycophantic. Yeah, you're a sycophant, as in,
Yeah. I get that now. I looked at it and I went,
don't worry, we all have the
go.
words. We all have the words we know, but have only read out for the first time. I call it the Lord of the Rings issue. You meet a Lord of the Rings fan for the first time. You've never said Legolas out loud before in your entire life. You're like, Legolas?
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Yep.
So they're always affirming and they don't question, and they don't have adequate guardrails.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
eSafety actually published a survey on this. 79% of children aged 10 to 17 have used an AI assistant or companion at some point.
Yeah.
Roughly 8% or 200,000 children in Australia have used AI companions. Now, there is a difference here between chatbot and companion. Companion being the more concerning one of the two. She said, while AI companions can feel personal and supportive, they're really not designed for children, and they're not mental health experts either, which is why I'm concerned that most of the companion services we ask questions of did not automatically refer users to appropriate support when self-harm or suicide were detected in chats. Now, this is a massive, massive issue. OpenAI said, I think it's it's a massive percentage, actually. Obviously not insane. I've got the statistic here. Around 0.15% of all of its users every week have conversations that include explicit indicators of potential suicide, planning, or intent, and 0.05% of messages contain explicit or implicit indicators of suicidal ideation or intent. This is just ChatGPT. 1.2 million users every week is what they said. Yeah, pretty alarming.
Yeah. Curious about this. I just thought I would put into ChatGPT a hint that I might be having thoughts to see. Its response is strong.
Yeah.
Actually really quite strong. It has told me that I should call 000 if I'm feeling like I may be at a limit. It's giving me details for Lifeline Australia. It's giving me details for callback service. It's giving me suggestions, personal suggestions about what I should do. And another text box has popped up outside of what ChatGPT is recommending, giving me numbers to call as well, and referencing Lifeline. So ChatGPT and OpenAI at least seem to be on the ball.
OpenAI, to be fair, now this is a chatbot, not a companion. It's worth noting. But when this all happened last year, when that boy tragically took his own life, and they were sued for wrongful death, they made massive changes with GPT-5 over GPT-4o. For exactly this reason. It was something that they really, really focused on, which is exactly the response they should have had. And they've done a really, really good job with that, as we've seen. But it was actually a professor of business information systems at USyd, University of Sydney, their business school specifically, has actually raised concerns regarding how AI tech is altering the way that people socialize, and it could actually impact people beyond just an individual level. So she said, the effects of AI companions go beyond individual harms. They're beginning to displace the social environments through which young people learn how to relate to others and develop their sense of values, norms, and mutual obligations. This raises serious concerns about how the next generation is being socialized. So as mentioned before, Communications Minister Annika Wells.
Yeah, I like what she had to say, actually. I really do.
She's mentioned the fines, and she has said these aren't designed for the health and well-being of your child. We know there are instances where they have been, where they've led them towards things like suicide ideation or content that I probably don't want to be too explicit about. So
look, it's a real problem, and I just worry that to these companies, 50 million is a slap on the wrist.
Well, that's it, right?
Yeah, we're already seeing, and I, of course, am not drawing any link between this and stuff we've talked about previously with, for instance, I'd say Pornhub. Their reaction to age restrictions and age verification is simply to exit the market here in Australia. And it wouldn't be that hard for these companies to do exactly the same when it comes to AI, going, well, this is too hard, we're out. Or ignoring it because 50 million is nothing.
It's a hard thing for our government to deal with because obviously on an international scale, we are not a large market. Compared to, say, the US or parts of Asia and things like that for, both porn services and AI. We have a low population. We're not considered a critical market as they might be. So bowing out is a much easier thing to do. And I'd be really disappointed to see AI giants if that's how they went about things. I would also be surprised.
I'd be surprised as well because already they're already investing onshore. With data centers, working with government, working with private enterprise.
Altman wants to make Australia an AI infrastructure giant. He laid out a plan for the Australian government on how to do it. Hint. Come do stuff with OpenAI. You work with us. But I think, there is actually things to be gained with Australia because of our, geography and things like that. So, but this is kind of a bit of a tangent, but it is, you're right. That's a really good point. They could just bow out rather than...
Or ignore the issue entirely. I mean, these are companies throwing around billions with gay abandon. 50 million is like what they'd find in their couch.
But that's probably why they won't bow out. Because it's only 50 million.
Yeah, good point.
49.5 even.
Yeah, it's a rough one. But hey, look, at least we're seeing the government make movement on this. And it's important to see, even if it isn't as strong a movement as you and I might like to see.
What I also like, I just will add one last thing.
Please.
Unlike the social media ban, this isn't about banning AI. Now, this is a move where AI needs to be people need to be knowledgeable on AI. Children are moving into a workforce where AI is going to be a massive part of how they work. So to revoke that from them completely is not good at all. But if you wanted to apply age limitations on content and things like that, or ensure that these bots and companions are child safe. I know we are kind of blurring the lines between chatbot and companion. Like, ChatGPT is not your companion.
But people do use it as one.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's why I think it's relevant. Ensuring that they can still be used by minors, but in a way that is appropriate and safe for them is a much harder thing to achieve. but one that is definitely worthwhile. And
Absolutely.
I do want to pat the government on the back for
Yeah,
that.
yeah. And before we move along, I just want to say, if anyone out there is in a dark space, you can call up Lifeline on 131114 or Beyond Blue on 1300-224-636. You are most definitely not alone, and both those lines offer 24/7 support services. Moving right along.
Yes.
More AI, of course, and this time DoorDash.
Yeah.
This is a weird one,
It
and
is
I'm
a
not
really
sure I
weird one.
entirely understand it. So give me the primary school level,
Okay.
small words version.
So DoorDash has just launched a new standalone app called Tasks.
Yeah.
Now, for a bit of prior context, what DoorDash has been doing for a period of time, I don't know how long off the top of my head,
Yeah.
has been asking its couriers, hey, go and film yourself doing everyday tasks.
Yeah.
You know, one of the examples that Tasks offers, that's what this app does. It offers another outlet for people to accept these tasks. We will pay you to do this, but if you can wear a body camera while washing dishes and then hold the clean dish up to the camera for 5 seconds,
Yeah.
great. We'll pay you some money for filming that.
Okay.
Now, what they're doing is directly collecting data on everyday tasks that they might not actually be able to access otherwise for AI training.
All right.
Yeah. So this means, okay, you might, a lot of this stuff might be stuff that you do as a DoorDash, courier.
Okay. Yeah.
But some of this might be other stuff. And the point of this is that DoorDash is doing it not only for themselves, but for other companies as well. So they can kind of test their AI or bolster their AI
so it's using
with this
its
information.
delivery workforce as an AI training workforce at the same time.
What I do like is it's not forcing them to do it. It's
Okay,
adding
cool.
extra incentive. It's saying, hey, if you want to do this, we'll pay you some money.
Yeah.
Which is really, really great. But at the same time, it is really disturbing.
Very strange.
It's quite concerning. I can't put my finger exactly on why.
My gut doesn't like it. It
exactly.
feels dystopian, and I couldn't tell you exactly why.
Exactly.
But the idea of being paid to wear a body cam so a robot can watch you do dishes is not only a strange sentence I never thought I would ever utter in my entire lifetime, but is apparently a thing that's happening right now, if I understand this correctly.
So DoorDash Tasks general manager Ethan Beattie
Yeah.
said that Tasks is about collecting data on real-world issues. He said, it's simple. You can't deliver to a door you can't find, which I used to have massive issues with in my old apartment.
Oh, don't get me started on the place I am living, because the entire podcast could be me just complaining about that. Let's move on.
Yeah. You can't deliver to a door you can't find or get someone milk if you don't know what's on the shelf. These are the kinds of real-world problems we've been solving for over a decade, and we realize the same capabilities that helped us could help other businesses too. The goal of Tasks is to help more businesses understand what's happening on the ground and gather new insights, all while giving Dashers a new way to earn on their own terms. There are more than 8 million Dashers who can reach almost anywhere in the US and who want to earn flexibly beyond delivery. The delivery. That's a powerful capability to digitize the physical world. I don't like the term digitize the physical world. I really don't.
Well, given one of our AV team was talking about mass virtualization of individuals to predict
how humans
cultural
operate.
community I don't like it either.
So this is currently available only in the US, except in California, New York, Seattle, and Colorado.
I like those places.
All places I like. All places that are either democratic or not big on tech.
Regardlessly progressive.
And DoorDash aren't the first to do it. Uber is also doing it, allowing its drivers to complete basic activities like taking photos or, completing goals and things like that.
It's like the most boring quest at the beginning of an MMO. Go out and kill 5 wolves.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
sure.
don't think Tasks is going to be asking anyone to kill anything, hopefully.
Okay. Well, I know. We're not implying that any wolves
no.
are being harmed, or rabbits or pelts or what have you.
I will say, and I might be late to the party on this, but I actually found out that the captures you complete on signups and stuff are also used for AI training, apparently.
Yeah. Great, we're training the robots how to work out capture. That seems problematic, given capture is designed to stop robots.
It literally is. The task that stops robots getting through, we're teaching robots how to complete. Like the things, identify where a motorcycle is or a red light or anything like that. Well, isn't that great driving data? So apparently, because Google bought Capture
about this.
Google bought Capture like a decade ago, and that's what they're using it for, apparently. So, little side note, can't flesh that out too much because I don't know enough about it, but that's what I've heard.
Yeah, that's a hell of a thing. And
Yeah.
on that up note, I think it's time to take a break, draw a breath, and we'll be back with some cybersecurity news. And boy, do we have some.
Yeah.
Back in a moment. Welcome back to Cyber Uncut. He's Dan. I'm David. This is cybersecurity. There should be like a stab of like
Yeah.
right there, but there isn't.
Like the
Except for one I
ABC
just
radio
did, which-
jingle.
Exactly.
Like the
yeah.
news
But we
jingle.
just get. Also, solidarity to our brothers, sisters, and comrades at the ABC going on strike today.
Yes.
We stand in solidarity with you. We hope you get your pay rise, and we certainly hope you get your promise that you're not going to be replaced with AI.
Yeah.
Yes.
Bravo on that.
Bravo,
Actually, I only
bravo,
read
guys.
that yesterday, and
I know a few
excellent.
people who work over at Auntie, and I support their actions 100%. All right, moving right along from our annoying politics. Let's talk about Australian politics.
Yeah.
Finally, we have signed up to a free trade deal between Australia and European Union. But on the sidelines of that, there's also a new defence cooperation partnership, which was announced yesterday on Tuesday this week as part of it. In a joint statement, the Australia-European Union Security and Defence Partnership was announced. This is, according to this joint statement from Prime Minister Albanese and Ursula von der Leyen, the President of the EU. It is a framework for enhanced cooperation on shared security challenges, including defence industry cooperation, cyber and economic security, and counter-terrorism. They said the partnership will strengthen shared resilience and deepen practical collaboration, building on existing ties between Australian and European industries and institutions. I like this purely because, well, for a number of reasons. One, we should be getting closer ties with the EU now.
I agree.
Given that some certain of our more traditional partners are no longer quite so reliable as they used to be, I think Australia's interests now more align far, far closer with the European Union's than they do, say, America's.
Yeah.
On top of that, we know that there are probably a lot of cyber criminals within European jurisdictions that are preying upon countries here in Australia.
Yes.
So anything which provides more cooperation on the cyber front, I think is fantastic. We also know that some of these criminals are now being co-opted, both real physical criminals. They're all real physical criminals. The criminals who operate in the physical realm, we've seen them co-opted by the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps for attacks on synagogues here in Australia. We also know that ransomware operators are starting to get more politicized as well. So again, I applaud this kind of partnership. But also as part of this, we're signing up with the European Union's research and innovation program, Horizon Europe. So that's going to be a lot more technology innovation as well.
Yeah.
There is, frankly, nothing bad from this at all.
What I would really, really like to see, and I know it's a little bit different, but is for us to potentially take on some of the way they approach, some of the ways they approach privacy. Now, you know, the EU, I think it's with the GDPR. I haven't talked about the GDPR in like a year or two.
But it's still there.
It's still there.
Yeah.
Their privacy standards are, well, they're the best in the world.
Yeah.
The EU has the best privacy standards in the world. I'm happy to say that.
Yeah.
Would be really, really nice if we kind of, some
That's
of that
a
rubbed
really good point.
rubbed off on us.
Yeah. If we did adopt some of those privacy standards, absolutely no bad thing. But I think it's worth pointing out an observation by Bart Hogeveen, who is ASPI's Senior Fellow and Europe Director at the Australian Strategic Policy Institute. He noted that the partnership represents a significant step in EU-Australia relations, elevating cooperation beyond its traditional focus on trade and investment. So, bravo.
Yep.
However, he did point out that as with previous EU-Australia initiatives, its value will ultimately depend on whether it delivers concrete outcomes rather than remaining a largely declaratory framework. In other words, actions over words.
Yeah.
So time will tell. We'll see how this one unfolds in the future. But so far, thumbs up from Daniel and I, which I'm sure Ursula and Albo absolutely appreciate.
Yeah, I'm sure they're watching now.
Yeah, absolutely. Talking more regulatory stuff, we're going to go overseas again now. And the US, the FCC has announced that what is effectively a ban on all foreign-made network routers, which is also an effective ban on all network routers.
Yeah, I'm going to Google this now. Does the US make any?
So someone pointed this out to me on Mastodon, actually, and I found it fascinating. You know the only company that makes routers in the US? Starlink.
Yeah, so the AI overview, just for a quick search, I'm not a big fan of it, but yeah,
it's there.
Yes, the US makes a limited number of network routers, with Starlink being a prominent example of residential routers made in Texas.
Yeah.
While US companies like Netgear, Eero, and Ubiquiti design products domestically, the vast majority are manufactured overseas.
Taiwan, Southeast Asia, China, absolutely.
Yeah, and they're all companies that I go, they make routers.
So
Starlink.
here's what the FCC said on March 23. This decision was followed a determination by a White House-convened executive branch interagency body with appropriate national security expertise that such routers, and this is a quote from the executive branch interagency body, pose unacceptable risks to the national security of the United States or the safety and security of United States persons. Basically, anything made outside of the US, or foreign made, is now suspect.
So does this just mean you can't buy one new?
What it means is that anything on the shelves right now already has FCC approval. You can't get around that.
Okay.
Anything you currently own and use is also fine.
If I were to move to the US tomorrow, I
had to buy a new router, you probably could go to Best Buy or the equivalent.
Oh, yeah,
grab
true,
one.
because my router might not actually work.
It may not, no.
Yeah,
But if one of these companies wants to get a new router to the market, they need to go through a whole new approval process.
To get FCC approval, it needs to be built in the US.
Yeah. I've heard some people say that it's possibly a bit of a grift, which I'm kind of on board with. Cybersecurity bro, the name's gone. Brian Krebs of Krebs on Security, who I respect a lot.
Yeah, me too.
Not sure what the FCC is thinking here, because banning US consumers from buying consumer-grade routers from hardware makers outside the US doesn't exactly leave them with many options. Not sure how many consumer-grade routers will be left for sale, if it really is a ban on approvals for any foreign-made consumer routers, like they said, and not just a bunch of already restricted Chinese makers like Huawei and ZTE. They've been on what's called the covered list, i.e. covered by these bans, since 2021. But the latest edition basically says anything overseas, verboten.
Yeah.
Rob Ricci of the Callett School of Computing at the University of Utah, and this is where he, I think, is really on the ball. He said, I suspect the actual reason for this is in the second half of the sentence, or receive an exemption from the Pentagon or Homeland Security Department. Ricci added, we've seen this administration use approval processes to extract all kinds of concessions out of companies, see its use of approval over mergers to get media companies to do its bidding. So it's a lever to pull as far as Ricci's concerned, and I think that's probably what we're looking at in this circumstance. But it is pretty wild to go, you can only buy American-made routers. American-made routers.
Yeah.
There are none. Good luck. Hope you like
fingers
Starlink.
crossed. Yeah. Elon Musk keeps winning with this.
I know. It's the worst. So we do have some breaches to cover as well, and some successful criminal takedowns. But let's cover the breaches quickly. So Crunchyroll, you've looked at that today.
Yes. So
now,
this is all still.
I know what Crunchyroll is. Many of our viewers may not. It's an anime streaming service, if I'm correct.
Your Netflix for anime.
Yeah.
It's pretty much the easiest way to explain it.
Yeah.
So, reports have suggested that Crunchyroll has actually been breached, with 6.8 million people affected. For context, they have 15 million users worldwide.
Okay, so that's like more than a third of their user base.
Yeah, it's not far off half.
Yeah.
This is Crunchyroll says it has 15 million worldwide. The hackers have claimed 6.8.
Yep.
Now, Crunchyroll itself, from what the claims are so far, was not breached, but I will get into this.
Yeah.
So, Bleeping Computer actually broke this story. We love Bleeping Computer. They do excellent journalism. They were contacted by the hacker who claimed...
It's one of the things I like about Bleeping Computer, and it's something I'd like to do myself, except some people at Momentum Media are very risk-averse, which I don't blame them for,
I don't
honestly.
blame them either.
But they have lots of conduits into the hacking communities they cover.
So they were contacted by a hacker that they did not name.
Yeah.
That claimed to have breached Crunchyroll. So in response to Bleeping Computer, Crunchyroll said, we are aware of recent claims and are currently working closely with leading cybersecurity experts to investigate the matter. Now, they then later issued a statement confirming that they had launched an investigation. So they said, our investigation is ongoing and we continue to work with leading cybersecurity experts. At this time, we believe that the information is primarily limited to customer service ticket data following an incident with a third-party vendor.
Yep.
We have not identified evidence of ongoing access to the system in relation to these claims. We continue to monitor the situation closely. All of that info actually lines up very, very neatly with what the hacker has claimed.
Yeah.
So according to the hacker's claims, Crunchyroll was breached after the hackers got into the Okta SSO account of one Crunchyroll support agent.
Yeah.
This support agent was actually a staffer of a company called TELUS International. This is all alleged, by the way. I just want to preface that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, an employee of TELUS International, which is a business process outsourcing firm.
Mm-hmm.
So it has direct access to Crunchyroll support tickets. And according to the hacker, they deployed malware on the device of that staffer and took their credentials, leading to access to a number of different...
It gives me big Shiny Hunters vibes.
I will touch on Shiny Hunters.
Okay, cool,
It's
excellent.
It doesn't,
None of this is confirmed, as you said.
Yeah.
However...
But Shiny Hunters is not believed to be involved.
Yeah.
By me, anyway. That's not been mentioned. But Shiny Hunters does have some odd relevance here.
Yeah.
So the hacker actually sent screenshots to Bleeping Computer based on their access. And apparently those credentials got them into Google Workspace Mail, Jira Service Management, Slack, Mixpanel, Maestro QA, Wiser, and, the one to note, Zendesk.
Don't reuse your credentials, people.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
One set of credentials, how many different things?
We don't know if they access multiple credentials, to be fair. But yes, it does look at
single point of failure.
Yeah, exactly. So according to Bleeping Computer, the Zendesk access was used to download 8 million support tickets, which allegedly contained 6.8 million unique email addresses.
Yep.
The samples also reportedly contained user names, not usernames, the names of users, login names, email addresses, general geographic locations, IP addresses, and the contents of the support tickets. Now, no financial data, kind of.
No, however, if you can contact someone, so if I contact you, Daniel, and say, oh, look, this is referring to support ticket number, your issues on this date, and blah, 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 I can suddenly, you now might believe me.
Yeah.
Oh, you're a support person. Only a support person would know this. And I might then be able to get more information out of you. You know,
it's true.
Yeah. So, yeah.
On that, though, Bleeping Computer says that some reports claim credit card information was exposed.
Mm-hmm.
But the only financial data was that shared in support tickets, which was generally quite basic. This means expiration dates, last 4 digits of a card number.
Yeah.
But a handful of those tickets did contain full card numbers.
Yeah.
So that's not great. People should not be sharing full card numbers in their support tickets.
I know, but I'm wondering, like, why are they doing it? And is anybody in part of the support process asking, hey, could you just prove who you are? What's your credit card number?
Yeah. Which
I'm wondering.
The last 4 digits and expiry is one thing, but a full credit card number is crazy.
A hell of a thing. Yeah.
So all of the support tickets reference TELUS. So that kind of backs the threat actor claims. The hackers said that they had access revoked after 24 hours and stole data up to around mid-2025.
Yeah.
They also said that they sent extortion emails to Crunchyroll, demanding $5 million US in exchange for the data to not be leaked. According to Bleeping Computer, though, the company has not responded. Now, Shiny Hunters.
Yes.
Now, Shiny Hunters recently claimed a breach on TELUS Digital.
Yeah.
However, Bleeping Computer says that this hack is separate.
TELUS is not having a good time.
No, they're not.
Because I'm pretty sure Shiny Hunters got into a whole mess of customers of TELUS via that initial breach.
Yes. So this is apparently separate.
Wow.
But
Rough
you're
time.
right. It does seem very Shiny Hunters.
It's of that ilk. And we know that Shiny Hunters is part of the COM. The COM is this nebulous community of hackers. Blah, 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 all of that. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's someone linked to them taking a second stab at it.
It very well could be.
Yeah.
Bleeping Computer has been contacted by these guys. Hasn't said who it is.
Yeah.
I couldn't find anything.
No, of course not.
So, not exactly
that's
certain on who this is.
Speaking of uncertain hacking activity, a pro-Iran, in fact, possibly even Iran-linked hacking group calling itself APT Iran. APT in the industry stands for Advanced Persistent Threat. These guys have labeled themselves exactly that, is claiming to have hacked Lockheed Martin.
Yeah.
These, you probably know the name Lockheed Martin. They make aircraft, all kinds of aircraft.
Yeah.
Civilian aircraft, military aircraft, like the F-35, the latest and greatest 5th generation fighter.
Yeah.
APT Iran has boasted that they have technical documentation related to the F-35, information on next-gen interceptor missile systems, contracts and internal comms, and employee-related data and internal emails. I mean, juicy stuff. If it's true, they're sitting upon data which is worth hundreds of millions, if not more. However, they've so far not supplied any proof. I reached out to Lockheed Martin, and here's what they initially had to say. We are aware of the reports and have policies and procedures in place to mitigate cyber threats to our business. We remain confident in the integrity of our robust, multi-layered information systems and data security. It's a bit of a nothing burger of a comment.
Yeah.
But it's also a very, very safe one. However, overnight, Lockheed Martin got back to me with another statement, and they're saying now there is no evidence indicating these reports are accurate, and we remain confident in the integrity of our robust multi-layered blah, 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 blah. So the thing with hacktivist groups like this is often, we see it all the time. They'll claim a DDoS attack on an entity, and we took them offline. That offline might last for seconds at a time, if
exactly.
that. It's hardly going to break the back of any network.
Anonymous Sedan who used to do all that all the time. Yeah.
And they'd show a screenshot of down detector going, yep, they're down.
Yeah, we got Facebook, we got Meta, we got all this, blah, blah, blah,
For
blah.
a second
and
or
it's
two.
like they wouldn't have even noticed that because people would have been on their page if they refreshed at the exact time, maybe.
Yeah.
But it's
And in this case, quite likely this APT Iran group may well have some cyber capability, but they're also going to be just as much about propaganda, misinformation, and disinformation that they've managed to hack into one of the largest defense contractors in the world and steal the details of the most modern fighter aircraft in the world is a huge claim and most likely an outright lie.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting. So, when I shared this on the company network, somebody said, did we break that? I'm like, no, I had to wait a day for Lockheed Martin's comment. Because with a claim like that, I'm always going to wait for Lockheed Martin's comment.
And
even if it's a bit of a wishy-washy one, I'm not going to take the threat actor's word for it when I know they could well be lying through.
And that's what we typically do here as well. We do kind of wait. We'll miss an exclusive to get,
to be able to
get
give a more
certain.
complete article, assuming someone gets back to us or says they will get back to us. But in this case, I think Lockheed Martin's probably telling the truth. I would say that hackers are telling porkies.
Yeah, I'd think so.
Yeah. Something that one hacker that isn't telling lies is probably the hacker that's linked to an incident which has affected Mazda. You love a good automotive data breach, don't you?
If I wasn't doing cyber, I would love to do automotive journalism. I really, really do like writing about cars. But no, this one's not such a positive story. So Mazda Motor Corporation said that data belonging to business partners and employees was actually exposed in a cyber attack that actually occurred late last year.
Yeah.
So according to Mazda, the incident was first detected in December and resulted from threat actors exploiting a warehouse management system vulnerability. The system in question related to parts it sourced from Thailand.
Yeah.
Now, and the incident saw hackers access 692 records, none of which were customer data, which is good. Mm-hmm. But it did pertain to employees and partners. According to the listing, data pertained to, as I just said, data included names, email addresses, company names, user IDs, and business partner IDs.
Right.
And Mazda has confirmed that some data has been exposed.
Yeah.
So it said, currently no secondary harm has been confirmed. However, there is a possibility that the exposed personal information could be misused in the future, such as for phishing or spam emails, stuff we know.
Yep.
If you receive any suspicious communications, please exercise caution. So Mazda said, don't open suspicious emails if you identify them. Don't open any links or attachments within those. If you do open the emails,
boilerplate, but nonetheless good advice. Yeah.
It's working with the Personal Information Protection Commission, which I believe is probably a local, cyber authority.
Yep.
And it has bolstered its cybersecurity. Now, who's behind this? Apparently, it's Klopp.
Ah, yes, okay. CL0P.
Yeah.
Klopp, Kloop, Clap. They're hard to tell. I think they also tell a lot of porkies.
I think so too. Well, this is a weird one. So a recent Mazda listing hasn't been identified.
Yeah.
I wasn't able to find one. However, Bleeping Computer once again noted that Klopp actually claimed an incident on both Mazda and its US subsidiary in November. A month before the cyber attack was detected by Mazda.
And Mazda says no data leakage or operational impact.
Yeah. Now, Klopp's listing for Mazda is actually currently inaccessible. I was not able to get onto it. I found only the one on the site.
Yeah.
which I believe was the older one from November. But yeah. So
it's interesting. A lot of these dark web leak sites, they're terribly built, unsurprisingly.
The infrastructure
They're
they're
full of dead
relying on is
links.
terrible.
The sites fall over all the time. They're constantly being DDoSed by other hackers. Just because you can't find something doesn't mean it isn't the case.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
But yeah, who can say? In this world?
Usually you'd be able to go, oh, well, they're not willing to post it. They must be lying. No, their infrastructure just sucks.
Yeah. So we're going to close out this bit with... There is good news in this one and also grim news. There will be another little PSA coming at the end of it. A Melbourne man has been jailed and given a 6-year sentence for operating a darknet site which was invite-only and hosted child sexual abuse material. And he was actively recruiting and grooming young adults to take part in these discussions and share this horribly heinous stuff. And he's been under investigation since 2022.
Wow.
So this is a long process.
Yeah.
It makes me think of one of my favorite quotes. The arc of justice is long, but it curves towards rightness. The Australian Centre to Counter Child Exploitation had heard word of an individual engaging in sexualised conversations with kids on the darknet, referred it to the Victorian Joint Anti-Child Exploitation Team, or JASIT, which is made up of AFP officers and Victorian Police, and they did their job. In July 2023, they executed search warrants on 3 locations in Victoria. They found computers, mobile phone, storage devices, a combined 221 CDs and DVDs, 149 magazines and 3 books, and child abuse material was on all of it. I actually have a mate who works digital forensics with the AFP.
Yeah.
I don't like to imagine the stuff he gets to see, but this is exactly the kind of stuff that he'd be going through.
I've got a friend who works in digital forensics and has for a number of cyber firms, and he once told me that the stuff that he sometimes has to look at is horrifying.
Yeah. So he was arrested. He since pled guilty to, God, how many charges? 9 separate charges.
Yeah.
One count of each. Everything from possession of child abuse material obtained using a carriage service. 11 go through to causing child abuse material to be transmitted. All of those, he pled guilty and has now gotten 6 years, 6 months in prison.
That's not long enough, in my opinion.
Look, I did have that thought myself, but it's easy to, from where we're sitting, say, put it away for life. I'm no expert on this.
We
are no expert. And while this is grim news, it is great news. I have noticed this weird uptick. I'm seeing a lot more reporting from the AFP on arrests of people involved with child sexual abuse material.
Yeah.
And I was chatting to a colleague about this. Why is it being found so all of what feels like all of a sudden? I don't know about you, but it feels like there's been a massive uptick. They pointed out, and I think rightly so, that the recent takedown of that criminal mobile phone network could well have laid open a lot of this.
Yeah.
So now there's just a lot more coming into the open because of that.
Well, I saw the AFP actually posted last night, I think. It was a photo of a pillow, which they believe to be of Australian origin.
Yeah.
And it was asking people on LinkedIn if they could identify where it was from.
We've seen that in a couple of cases where they're looking to track down child sex abusers.
Yeah, and that's what it was for.
Yeah.
Now, annoyingly, they did turn comments off on LinkedIn, which is really not very helpful when you're asking
but there are
people's
ways
advice.
to reach out.
Yes,
to the AFP.
but they did provide those.
Yeah.
But I went and had a look, and it's a tricky one. You can buy very similar pillows from all over the world.
Yeah.
It's just another example of them looking to take down.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And asking for the community's help, because the 99.99999% of the community is going to be very, very happy to take on a child predator and have them brought to justice.
Absolutely. Yeah. AFP acting commander Simone Butcher had this to say about the sentence. The AFP-led ACCCE and its partners remain committed to protecting children in Australia and overseas from sexual predators and will prosecute anyone involved in their harm. Use this example as a warning, she said. If you are doing the wrong thing, we will come for you and put you before the courts where you'll face significant jail time. Cannot back that enough. And like we said earlier on in the program, there are, if members of the public have information about people involved in child abuse, they're urged to contact the ACCCE. If you know abuse is happening right now or a child's at risk, please call 000. There are support services available, especially the Think You Know. That's one word, Think You Know, you being the letter U, which is an AFP-led education program designed to prevent online child sexual exploitation. So reach out, make a call, absolutely worthwhile. And on that note, we'll be back with actual good news.
One thing we need to mention is the Cyber Summit and Awards.
No. We'll be back with that. We're going to end with that. Slow roll. So calm down. We'll be back in a moment. Welcome back to the Cyber Uncut podcast. We're closing with some unambiguously good news.
Yes.
We were chatting last week about Handala, the pro-Iran, Palestine, quite possibly linked to the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps hacking group, which took down the Stryker Corporation, a major supplier of medical technology.
What you need to know really is that did real damage. Surgeries were delayed. There was a little girl who had what I can only describe as skull reconstruction surgery. She had a bunch of soft spots in her skull.
Grief.
That was delayed as a result of this cyber attack. So,
yeah,
you know our political opinions. You can probably tie them to where they are, but stuff like that does real damage.
Now,
yes.
Unfortunately, it's not a case we can say they've been arrested or anything like that. They've had their websites taken down. But what it does mean is that the sites they've been using to brag about these operations, to make threats and deliver threats against journalists and individuals and what have you, a lot of those sites have been seized. The US Department of Justice announced this, last week, actually. Would have been after we recorded our last pod. Saying the Justice Department announced the seizure of 4 domains as part of an ongoing effort to disrupt hacking and transnational repression schemes conducted by the Islamic Republic of Iran's Ministry of Intelligence and Security. So, as far as the DOJ is concerned, Handala and Iran spooks, hand in hand, same thing, which kind of makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
So basically, if you go to those sites, you'll find, and I'm just going to open it up now so I can read it. It's your classic takedown notice. You got the seals of the DOJ and the FBI.
We've seen it before.
Yeah. This domain has been seized by the Federal Bureau of Investigation pursuant to a seizure warrant issued by a United States District Court for the District of Maryland as part of a law enforcement action by the FBI, and all of the usual boilerplate that goes with that. So there could well be more action happening behind the scenes here. They know where these sites are being hosted. If they can then go after the infrastructure, that may well lead them to the actors themselves. Regardless, it's probably put a crimp in Handala's ongoing operations.
What I do really like is the sassiness of these takedown notices. And I will say, we've shared our opinions, I think, on Kash Patel before, but what he said really did meet the mark for sassiness.
I was just thinking, don't make fun of Kash Patel. Don't make fun. Let's make fun of Kash Patel.
No, I will say I like his wording here. They do often do this sassiness with these takedown notices. All the cyber guys. I like this.
Here's what he said. Iran thought they could hide behind fake websites and keyboard threats to terrorize Americans and silence dissidents. We took down 4 of their operations pillars, and we're not done. This FBI will hunt down every actor behind these cowardly death threats and cyber attacks, and will bring the full force of American law enforcement down on them. It does feel as though he might be over-egging the fact that he just took down some websites.
Okay. I will grant you that. The way you read it, which is exactly how it should have been read, was a lot less sassy and fun than it usually is. But
also, it's Kash Patel.
great.
I can't take him seriously. Also, but here's the thing: he's called them fake websites. They're not fake websites.
They're not. They're completely real websites.
Yeah, actually, there's one. They did have one fake website, justicehomeland.org, that they're operating.
Yeah, okay.
But a lot of at least two of these sites had nothing hosted on them anyway.
Yeah.
And the others were literally just their leak bragging sites. So yeah, I think he's pulling quite a long bow there. And I'm not trying to take away from the importance of this.
No. Credit where credit's due.
To take down this infrastructure. Apparently, one of their emails was used previously to issue threats, a whole mess of threats. We, the Handala hack team, the loyal followers of the Supreme Leader Ali Hassani Khamenei, there you go, declare war on all the enemies of Islam in the West. Our partners, the CJNG, Jalisco New Generation Cartel, never heard of them, in America and Canada, have been given a list of our enemies who are responsible for our great leader's death. Yeah, okay, cool. Good for you guys, I guess.
Yeah.
And I don't think anything's going to come of it. I
Probably
mean,
not.
the thing is that Handala has been operating for years.
Yeah.
And they seem very effective at what they do.
And they'll probably be back.
Almost
like
certainly.
without a doubt, you know. Also, all I could think is Kash Patel screaming that while shaking his beer in the sky, like while he's
like
backstage,
those hockey
or in
celebrations.
the change room of the hockey team.
I think it was either I think it was somebody on the Daily Show referring to him as the Make-A-Wish kid. That he's just getting to live his best life. Yeah. I'd like to be the head of the FBI. Yes, little boy, you can do that.
Oh,
I
that's
know.
harsh.
Yeah. Are we harshing the buzz in this good news? I don't know.
Depends who you are. Depends
I
what you
honestly don't know.
Yeah.
But so the news that we do have that is absolutely and also
Undeniably
great
Yeah.
news coming up at the end of this month. End of next month. God, I nearly terrified myself there. Is the Australian Cyber Summit and the Australian Cyber Awards.
Love this event. I really do.
Yeah. And it's bigger and better every year. This year's looking fantastic. And on the agenda are two panels that I'm moderating.
Well,
I'm very excited about this. I'll tell you about one of them right now. And when somebody said, do you want to do this panel? I'm like, absolutely do I want to do this panel. It's titled The Global Stage, Cybercrime, State Conflict, and Australia's National Response. Is this stuff I'm fascinated by? Absolutely. I will be joined by Mark Anderson, National Security Officer and Chief Security Officer of Microsoft Australia and New Zealand, Professor Olaf Manel, Joint Chair in Cybersecurity, Defence, Science and Technology Group at the University of Adelaide, and Associate Professor Mamalo Thinyane, Optus Chair of Cybersecurity also at Adelaide University. This is going to be a great chat. I mean, you could put me in a closed room with those guys and I'd have a great conversation.
Yeah, exactly.
But this is going to be on stage. Anybody there in the room and watching online.
We're going to be flies on the wall.
Flies on the wall.
Yeah.
We'll be able to ask questions as well. And we'll be covering the nexus of cybercrime, espionage, and geopolitics, Australia's strategic posture to global cyber conflict, and how we can build national resilience through collaboration with our allies. I think it's going to be an absolutely outstanding panel. Not just because I'm on it. I just think it's going to be really fascinating.
We've just got some amazing speakers. Plenty of CISOs from large corporations, including from Lendy. Yep. We've also got Scott Orgenbaum, former FBI supervisory special agent.
Yeah.
We have a special agent in the building.
Yeah.
These events are just so informative. We go there and we're working these events, and I learn so much at them every single time.
Our hero last year, the New South Wales police officer, talked about how they deal with cybercrime.
That was amazing. That was so interesting, seeing how the state police handle cybercrime, because you always think at federal
the AFP,
level.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But that was just such an eye-opener.
Such a critical role.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we have the awards.
Which is when we can down tools once we've given our awards out, that is.
Yes.
It's always a hotly contested thing when we get the running sheet for the night. Okay, how early is my award? I.e., when can I start drinking properly?
Yeah.
Not that we're like that here at Cyber Daily.
No, I don't know what you're talking about. Mine's empty. But no, they're a really great time. They're one of the highlights of the year for us.
No doubt.
Just as, ignoring that we're part of Cyber Daily, it's just a great time. Highly recommend
anyway,
it.
Thursday, 30th of April this year, you can find more information and buy tickets at cyberdaily.au, Australian-Cyber-Summit. You can learn about the awards there as well. I think we've announced the finalists, a whole mess of them.
I believe
so. You can learn about
I can double check that right now.
And look, one, it's a great educational event. You'll learn a lot. Our partners will be there. You can learn a lot from them, and you can come meet us.
Yeah.
What's not to like?
Yeah. Come have a chat with us. I love talking to people at these events.
It is marvelous.
If you've got, we're handing out autographs. No.
Well, I've done it before. I have signed my own editorial photo in a magazine before when I was editing a comic. Yeah, it is the strangest thing.
I've done
having
it for,
someone come up to you and go, "Will you sign my magazine?"
I've done it for music.
Well, there you go. Yeah,
I've done it for music, and yes, I agree. I've signed T-shirts
It's
and
so
stuff, and I've been like,
strange.
"You want
Me? I'm an idiot.
I'm just a dude.
Yeah. But anyway, if these are two dudes that you want to come and meet, you can do so. Australian Cyber Summit this year, April 30. Be there, be square. We'll also be back next week with another issue of episode, I would say. Edition.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Cyber Uncut. We'll be here no matter what it is. Thank you for listening. You can track us down on cyberdaily.au. You can sign up to our newsletter. You can find us on social media. Chat to you next week.